Well, as we just heard, my friends, in this gospel passage, Jesus is sending his apostles out on their very first teaching and healing mission. And he sends them out not alone, but 2 by 2. Tells them to take nothing for the journey. No food, no sack, no money, no second tunic, just a walking stick. It's almost as if they're being sent out naked, stripped of nearly everything, leaving them with basically 3 things: themselves, the message, and the God who is with them always. Jesus is helping to make sure that nothing will tempt the disciples to rest or to slow down for too long a time as they make their way from town to town with his message. In essence, the message of spreading the gospel involves them being continually on the move from their comfort zones to places of spiritual risk, venturing out into the unknown without very much, revealing their most authentic self, the beautiful person God created each of them to be, stripped of all the false stuff that many people often bring into their relationships and their life experiences. And so, my friends, as today's followers of Jesus Christ, every one of us must ask, what is my authentic self? Well, first, each of us is called to be a person who says what we mean and mean what we say. It's going to be quite difficult, if not impossible, for others to be receptive to the Christian message if we, the messengers, leave the impression of being insincere or hypocritical. Now, my friends, people can see right through such hypocrisy. And it's essential for us to be aware that it is okay for us to not have all the answers, to express doubts, and to experience a lack of complete understanding about certain things related to our faith. People will be much more receptive if they feel that we are being honest and truthful with them. And second, each of us is called to be a person who is joyful. If it is not evident that our faith makes a positive, uplifting difference in our lives, then we certainly can't expect others to want to embrace it. The same is true if our faith is presented simply as rules and regulations, or pious devotions, or worse yet, some sort of dreaded obligation. Our faith is so much more than all of that. The way we talk about what we believe should make that perfectly clear. Ultimately, ours is a faith that is really bursting with mercy, generosity, hope, kindness, compassion, and unconditional love. Third, each of us is called to put aside our egos as we go about doing Jesus' work and sharing his message, not our own. It's not about us. It's not about our goodness, our achievements. It's not about trying to score points with God or getting a spiritual pat on the back. The mission and the message is all about God, the love of the Father, the sacrifice of the Son, the continuing presence of the Holy Spirit. The focus must always remain where it truly belongs, on God who loves us so much more than we could ever imagine, a God who walks this journey of faith with us each step of the way. Fourth, each of us is called to be a person who is not overly worried or anxious about how we will be perceived or accepted. If we are, then we might never get over our fears of being rejected, laughed at, ignored, ridiculed. The truth is, my friends, some people is going to like the message we share. Some will think it's just a whole bunch of rubbish. And some might have contempt for what we are all about. But none of that can be the deciding factor as to whether or not we strive to bring the message of Jesus Christ to others. We simply do so because that is what Jesus asks of us. that we share in his ongoing mission of compassionate love to transform the world. And finally, each of us is called to be a person who does not try to go it alone. We journey into the unknown with Jesus in our heart and with others by our side. Jesus sent the 12 out 2 by 2 because he knew that they would need one another. We also need others, my friends, and others need us. Alone, the deck is stacked against us. Together we can do some awesome things with God's amazing grace, of course. And so we must rely on others and make sure that others know that they can rely on us as well. And so, my friends, let's take to heart the words of Jesus as he sends us out to be his compassionate, loving presence in our own small corner of this world. Let's be sure that we go out stripped of all the false stuff that keeps us from reflecting the divine image in which each of us was created. We do not need to be anyone other than the beautiful person that God created each of us to be. And by doing so, may we accomplish whatever it is that Jesus desires of each of us on our journey of faith, even when or if we are unable to see the positive effect of our efforts. God sees and God knows. And my friends, as a people of faith, that should be good enough for all of us.